It's like, being at a smokers convention and you're the little warning on the side of the pack. It could be dangerous to your health. Doesn't usually go well. But you know what? If you entertain certain possibilities, you're available to this. And I'm not a quote-unquote kirtan person or whatever, anything. But you just trigger right in, because one thing is, there is a condition that's always available at all times, right where we are, and that inherent condition is that you're present, and therefore you're available to what's happening. You're not like in the back of the house when the invitation comes at the front door. You're right there, yes? And you're always right there. And that's our basic starting point that we tend to forget because we're listening to a mental stream, a thought system that implies that we're a body, basically. So this is sort of like a public announcement, and in a way I think it would be nice, like if you were driving to a retreat and then you get to hear, this is a spiritual public announcement, the seeker is the sought, what you pull over, and maybe you would think about, why am I going to a retreat to find what's already here? Whatever. So this message is a simple one. It's really about what we're not, because the only thing you can truly study is what you're not. You cannot study what you are, because what's studying right now would be what you are. So whatever is studying cannot be studied. Whatever is knowing cannot be known. Whatever is seen cannot be seen. Whatever is really feeling cannot be felt. Whatever is tasting cannot be tasted. So basically, the way we try to navigate and know things here are about knowing something other than ourselves, like a topic, let's say science, or fashion design and stuff like that, or knowing where there's a good latte in town, or a pair of pants you can buy. So all that knowing seems to make sense, because you're something and then you try to know something else to improve the something that you are, maybe looking wise or whatnot. But you cannot apply that to being. You can't apply what we apply to trying to study other topics to the topic of what we are. The only knowledge that's available there is being it. There's no other knowledge. All the knowledge is really about what we're not, so that knowledge can distill into a sense that I'm not that, and then the sense of being, which has never gone anywhere, it's not diminished, it's not muted by any of your or my behavior, it becomes obvious to you. It just doesn't show up. It seems like it showed up to you, but it's been always available at all times with no requirement necessary. And then you can lose yourself in kirtan, you can lose yourself going to the 7-Eleven, you can lose yourself on Monday morning, you can lose yourself at work, you can lose yourself anywhere, because basically you've never found yourself. It's a condition that you cannot override as a mental activity. That's the good news, because all the shit that we're believing is defined by an impossibility, so it can only seem to be so to what is so. And that's our role here. We are the reality, lending reality to things by being identified as a thing. That's what's happening. It's never happened, but that's what's happening. Yes? There's never been a bondage, but there seems to be bondage. That's the trick. So, when this message dawned on me, it was like the worst fucking career choice of ever. Because basically, my job is to become obsolete. I'm like a mailman. I don't want to go in and read the letters with you. And basically I only have one piece of mail. It's like an invitation. It says, party at 9. And you go, what day? Now. It's always the same thing. Party at 9. Well, now. It's basically party at 9 now. Really. And the thing is, it's different. Seeing doesn't take any time. Look at your basic day, how it starts. Everyone in this room may have a lot of different interests and think they're in different places, but basically the bottom line of all our experience is 5 contacts, yes? Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and touching. Now, there is not a thing that's seeing. You don't have an arm that goes out and sees something. It's no-thingness, yes? It's awareness, a consciousness, whatever you want to talk about it. But those are our contacts. So basically what's actually happening here is consciousness and contact. And then the mental process, which arises to be noted in consciousness, implies and insinuates and presupposes that you're a thing, that you're a body. Yeah? So a great master, I don't know if you ever heard of him, Ramana Maharshi, very famous master, and a lot of his writings have this one topic or this one sentence that's in all of his writings, which is what I would call the essence of what I call, if you listen to the talk, selfing, you know. So selfing is really the presupposing of a non-existent thing, which is a body, yeah? Without animation, the body is inert. It doesn't produce its own life, yeah? It expresses life that's moving through it. It doesn't produce its own life. So the presupposing of a non-existent thing that wants to get salvation for the non-existent thing, or wants to get a bologna sandwich for the non-existent thing, or want to get a better job for the non-existent thing. But if you see that all those things that you want after that point of taking yourself to being the non-existent thing is an interpretation that's centered in this non-existent thing, that now becomes you, in a sense. It cannot be you, but it can seem to be you. It can appear to be you to what is you. Yeah, you can believe that you're a body. And if you're listening to the thoughts, and if the thoughts have a rather big role in your life, the thought system pictures you and I as a body. When you're thought about an hour ago, you're pictured as a body. When you're worrying about what's going to happen to you 3 years from now, you're picturing the mental process pictures you as a body. If you're listening to the thoughts, or if you have faith in the thoughts are going to interpret this event as life happening to you. That's not it. Life is just happening. But from the mental point of view, it's going to be seen as it's happening to you as what? A body. That's it. That's the bondage of self. It's not a bondage to self, because a bondage to self would be me as something and a self as something, and then let's say some spiritual handcuffs that bonded me to this idea of being a self. But it's not. It's bondage of. In other words, it's an activity. Yeah. The bondage, just like they say, peace of mind, big M mind. Well, bondage is of self. Without a self, there is no bondage. It's bondage of. Now you want to get out of the bondage, and then it's about, then suddenly you find yourself in more bondage and out of bondage. But what would happen if you got out of what the bondage, the only reality where the bondage is in self, if you saw you weren't a self? If you saw you weren't a self, the freedom would be always available, all times, right where you are prior to the bondage. You wouldn't be busily trying to get out of an imaginary place, because it's an imaginary place. You would see your role instead of looking from it. Yeah, you would see it. You have the eyes to see. And what happens is that sense is not something that's acquired. It's an immediate availability and immediate presence. You are what you're looking for. The seeker is the sought. A great, St. Francis, my favorite statement is, what's looking is what you're looking for. Yeah. Now, the way the mental process would like to put that in place would be, you and I are looking for what's looking. So what's looking would now become an object to the false subject. Good luck. You're not going to find the truth if you are the truth. So the mental state puts all the emphasis on you and I looking for a mythical freaking concept of what's looking, when what's looking, while looking for that mythical concept, is what you're looking for. How long would it take to get back there where you never left? The solution doesn't take any time. If seen from the problem, the solution takes time. But if you see the problem, it doesn't take any time. And I believe humbly that every one of us precede every fucking thing else. The being is not preceded by anything else. Yeah. There's nothing, there is no seer, and there's no seeing of the seeing. There's seeing. There's hearing, there's feeling, there's tasting, there's touching, and the seeing is not just vision. Seeing is the innate awareness. And look at what happened. Did you wake up in the morning after you did your yoga and listened to kirtan music, burnt the incense and washed with lavender or something? Who knows? It doesn't matter. Well, that's great. I love it. It's good for the body, maybe. But did you go to a seeing class? Did you sit in a room with like pictures of saints, let's say, and you were trying to, I'm going to see just like Ramana Maharshi, see just like Nisargadatta Maharaj. I'm seeing. Did you do that? Does your seeing, not the eyes, does your seeing ever get tired? Does the seeing ever get tired? Do you get exhausted? I'm not talking about the eyes or your head. I can't fucking see another person. No. Does the seeing ever get tired? Does the hearing ever get tired? If your ears open, you're going to hear everything. Where's there any choice in that? And does it exhibit any thought or effort, the seeing? Does it run out by Friday? You know, you misspent it. You spent it unwisely. You shouldn't have been looking at that porn or something like that. Now all right, no more seeing for you. It's not like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld. No more seeing for you. No, seeing is going on. The most horrendous thing, the most beautiful thing, the seeing doesn't blink. It doesn't demonstrate any thought and effort. Then why would you believe thought and effort would bring you back there? It's impossible. It doesn't demonstrate anything that you're using to try to arrive there. There's no thought or effort in it. And that's the response. You fucking finally relax. Better than 50 Thai massages. Seriously, something drops. And it stabilizes here. And for me, as a translation here, as an action figure, it stabilizes as a traveling lighter. It doesn't change the geography of your action figure life. You may get cancer, you may not. You may get married, you may not. But you'll travel lighter with whatever is in store for you as a body. What more do you want? What more do you want? If you've had it for a while, you realize that's all you ever wanted. You don't want enlightenment. You want to feel content. You want to feel okay in the circumstances and the situation you're in. You're comfortable in your own seeming skin. That's what we want. We want to feel okay, not having to acquire okayness by actions and havings and doing all that shit. Because it's a never-ending slavery. That mental accountant, you know, maybe you thought you did enough to get a good Saturday. Next week, he's got more demands. No, you fucking have to meditate 4 hours to be okay. Or, you know, do this to be okay. You didn't, you got to do 8 hours of yoga now. When's it gonna freaking end? This isn't about accruing value. It's about expressing value. It's not about acquiring a state. It's expressing an inherent state. It's totally different. The pursuit of happiness turns into a leisurely walk. You may not even get up, actually, for the pursuit of happiness, because you're content. You may see it too much of a burden. Fuck that, why do I want to do that for? I did this one, I'll tell you, I remember I got sober. I come out of recovery, you know, as an action figure. I got sober and this lady wanted to know if I wanted to go to an Indian sweat. And I have nothing against Indian sweats. It's just an example. And so I said, yeah. And we went to this beautiful mountain in California, Mount Shasta. It's an incredible place. And this sweat was a really big sweat in the world of sweats, you know. Like it was like the sweat of the year, so to speak. There was people coming in from all over the country, and they had more than 3 big things they built, you know, from saplings and everything, and they had the Oklahoma Indian, and everyone's buzzed, and I'd never done anything, so they created this big thing, and we all got in there, and there wasn't any room, so I was standing up, holding on to the rafters, and then they put that flap down, and I try to sit down, but someone is right underneath me, so I had to stand up, and heat rises, you know. So I'm sitting there, and then they start throwing the herbs and the water on those freaking molten rocks, and there's waves of heat were hitting me and burnt my ear and my ear and in my nostrils. I was just fucking dying. I said, please. I wasn't praying for fucking transcendence. I wanted to get out of that freaking tent. I'm going, please do not throw any more water on that rock. But I didn't want to lose my spiritual face, because I figured if I ran out of there, I would have been the talk of the whole fucking sweat for the next 3 days. I would have ruined my spiritual career. So I knew they could have been spearing me. I wasn't going to go and die. And I could have waited. Suddenly the flap opens and I'm knocking people over. Get out and jump into the stream, and you feel great, you know. You hit the water. It's a huge rush. And then there's the afternoon sweat. But now I'm a little smarter. I try to sit right next to the flap, and I have my arms and legs like this, and they're just, you know, they're like waves. I'm just like fucking moaning and crying and praying, and it's over. 2 days. All right. Now years later, you know, I don't know what happened. My friends were setting up a sweat. They were people I worked with in recovery, and they wanted me to go to support them. I said, sure. And they brought an Oklahoma Indian, and it was only like 15 guys, and they had like drinks and food outside, and we get into the sweat, you know, the thing, and I'm sitting there, and I go, it's hot, and I get right out. I go sit down, hey, this is hot. I leave right away, and I got all the drinks and the food, and they're moaning and praying, and I'm just sitting there in a beautiful stall at night. What happened? Why was I so keen on taking all that shit before, and then it made absolutely no sense? Yeah. One, I was looking for being. The other, I was seeing from being. And seeing from being has a lot of common sense. It really does. If this posture hurts, get up. You know what I mean? It's not like rock. You don't have to go through convoluted reason. This ain't working. You have permission to stay or go. It doesn't mean really anything, to tell you the truth. Because if you watch, you are exactly the same base condition before you go into the class, during the class, and after the class. Your base condition is never, it's not going like this. Like the mental state is like a camera aperture, and it's constantly going like this based on conditions, and actually its condition is based on outside conditions, yeah? So basically things aren't going well, and then when things are going your way, yeah, and so we believe that we're this, and then we believe we're that. But behind, the space of being isn't affected by the apertures in manifestation. The space in being isn't going when you're sick. It isn't. It's not contracting and expanding based on outside conditions. It is like a sky that's allowing everything to appear in it, but has none of what appears in it has any effect on it at all. So here we're totally, because we think we're the camera, therefore the camera is based on what's happening out here. Aperture, oh, it's hello, this person's so nice to me. And then so your boss says, hey, you fucking did a bad job. Like this, like a fucking mental sphincter. But then all of this isn't having any effect what's behind the camera. And you are behind the camera, and this is an appearance in front of the camera, and you are dreaming this appearance as that which is behind the camera. Now you have the horse in front of the cart. Now fucking things make sense. Blue is blue and red is red, as Zen says. Yes, it's simple. Very, very simple. And it doesn't mean you stop or start or do or not do anything. Whatever this action figure is going to do, it's going to do. Maybe if you sat and meditated, instead of... See, this is what it does, as Ramana says. The presupposing of a non-existent thing, wanting to get salvation for the non-existent thing. And then it says, when that's in place, this is what happens. If your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing, how can they destroy it? If your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing, how can they destroy the non-existent thing. Because there's no destroying the non-existent thing, because it's non-existing. Destroying the non-existent thing would give it a reality it doesn't have. So first, the presupposing. To me, I call it selfing. So selfing is the presupposing, the assuming, the implying, the insinuating, which the mental state and the memories and the perceptual apparatus support. They support you as a thing. You can only remember you as a thing. You cannot remember what always is. There's not one moment it's not to remember. There's no access to this other than being. None. No fucking way are you going to know yourself into that which is knowing. No way. It's the big dilemma I see in science. They're trying to study everything, but they can't study that which is studying. They don't, that which is knowing, they can't turn their little knowledge on, because that would be that which is knowing. It's like the eye's never going to see the eye. You can't turn, and you can't go like this. So I'm just chilling out. You're not going to catch what's looking from the point of what's, you are seeing this, yes? Whatever, like, there's a great Zen master, Huang Po, says, whatever can be perceived, cannot be perceiving. So beautiful, it saves us a huge amount of time. Whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving. So if you think I'm the one that's seeing out of this head, you're mistaken. It's a simple mistake, but what happens is it replicates itself through the claiming. Everything that comes after, every event that you do seemingly after will point to you as the doer. All the thoughts will be used to point to you as the thinker or the thought about. The feelings are being used to point to you as the feeler. How does it happen? The difference between a thought and my thought. That's the act of the bondage of self. It's the my. Thoughts are just thoughts. I can have the same thought you're having, and it would have a different effect. One thought may be driving you crazy. If I see it as yours, it doesn't infect me one bit. I feel sorry for you, but I go, thank God I don't fucking have that thought. But the same thought, if it's held as mine, suddenly has superhuman power to ruin my day. How could that be? It's not the thought. It's the my. That's the mental process's act of being identified as a self. It does it by claiming all the faculties and putting itself, this is what happens. It's a beautiful heist, really, if you could watch it. There's the sense of conscious contact, yes? The mental state arises and assumes, presupposes, implies that you're the one who's in contact as a body, yes? So the presupposing is really quite beautiful, because it's a supposing now, but it presupposes you before. So the thought comes after the conscious contact, but that thought implies it was before the conscious contact. Now you're the one who's conscious as a body, and that's not so. So this freedom is prior to the bondage. From the priorness, there is no bondage. It's an activity. It's an activity called the act of being identified as a body, basically. Yeah. It never completed its mission. It never will. You will never be a body. You are no-thingness. You are not a thing. You are not a thing that's doing no-thingness. You're no-thingness. Now the horse is in front of the cart, and maybe things will make sense to you. Maybe you'll be available. You haven't listened to Kirtan 3 years. One Kirtan note, you're a totally blissful devotee, because you're not. You can be anything because you're not. You can be available to the moment because you're not. You have an immunity to that which puts most of our attention into the realms of what's not happening. Most of the people, if you're having a trouble tonight, I bet it's not based on tonight. Based on last week and next week. We're living an interpretation. The mental process tells us how we were, how we are, how we're going to be, how you were, how you are, how you're going to be. It tells you at 8 in the morning, this day's going to suck, so you don't get up. It tells you you're never going to have love in your life. It prophesies constantly. It acts like it's the Greek oracle. It's full of shit. It has no fucking idea what's going to happen at 4 p.m. None. This game, this card game here, God deals the deck at the time he deals it. You do not know the 4 p.m. card at 8 a.m. You're going to have to be available and receive the invitation. So I don't know. For me, it can be taken to be really bad news. And that's the point. It's the way. When I first went and I heard this message, what I discovered is it's like if you were, let's say you were a clone, yes, and but you have a human programming. So the clone thinks it's from Boston, is a Boston Red Sox fan, it has little pennants to prove it, and it has little kids' pictures who they never had or whatever. And he has a whole huge story. And then suddenly, indisputable evidence that it's a clone is presented to the clone. Yeah? And you would think the clone would obviously get it. But what receives the evidence of the clone is the human program. So the selfing is so fast. When you hear this message, let's say that you're a lion, it's going to go like this. You may like it. You may like the idea of being a lion. So it's coming this way. You're a lion. You're a lion. You're like in agreement. You're a lion. But it hits and your ears are formulated as a sheep ear. You hear it as, I can become like a lion. That's not the message. You see? The whole dilemma is there's a stubborn idea that you're something that you're not. And you're hearing everything from that idea. That's the first myth that goes up. It catches freaking everything. Supposedly, the brain producing the sense of self is like 500th of a second. There's no process in this world that can get prior to that. There's no gunslinger of doing and having that can outdraw that. Yeah? The only thing that can outdraw that is the sense of being. The only place is timelessness that will, because in there the gun has always been out. There is no challenge, yes? It's only in timelessness that there's relief from a process. You can't use another process to try to get in front of that one because it will claim everything you do as the doer of it. It'll claim your meditation, it'll claim your yoga, it'll claim fucking everything. That's what it does. And it has no respect for 500-year-old lineages. It doesn't care if you're wearing loose clothing and you have a loving gaze. You'll be full of your shit, you know? You'll be thinking you're the one who's loving gaze and has this beautiful view. That's not it. Because that will jackpot you. If you believe you achieve something, you can believe you'll lose it. That isn't it. It's got to be inherently so, or it's not going to work here. You cannot stabilize a volatile condition, and everything here is volatile. Everything here is affected by everything else. But what you are isn't. It is truly like that sky. Tons of clouds appear in the sky. Let's say if 80 clouds appear in one day in the sky, does the sky become cloud? No. 100 clouds? No. Is there a breaking point where I have had so much fucking cloud, I'm a cloud? No. You could have 365 days of 4th of July explosions. It will never rip the sky open. Tons of planes fly through the sky. They never call up the terminal and say, I ran into a big chunk of sky up here. None of that. When it rains, it doesn't get wet. We get wet. When the birds shit, it doesn't land on the sky. It lands on our car and shit. Yeah? This is what mind is like. Big M mind. Awareness, being. It's untouchable. It allows everything to happen, but isn't affected by any of it. Wouldn't you like a little of that influence in your life? Wouldn't you like to have an immunity to yesterday and tomorrow so that today isn't interpreted away by those two dominant themes? Wouldn't you like to actually have a sense of here and not live in a mental here, which is chock full of there and then? Peace breeds peace. Agitation begets agitation. Like a great Zen master said, you cannot use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. You're not going to get out of what you're in through the in. The whole point of this message is realize it's not true. Yeah, you cannot transcend an imaginary place. You cannot solve an imaginary problem. The only way you solve it is seeing that it's imaginary. And how long does that take? No time at all. Will it suddenly come back, haunt you like the boogeyman? No. A non-existent thing does not resurrect. It doesn't arise from the ashes. It doesn't even wait. It's not a non-existent thing. It's an activity that we are immersed in by listening to the thought system, by believing the perceptual system, by relying on our freaking memories, which picture you as a body. And they've already proven it with neuroscience that every time you remember an event, all you remember is a memory of it. Basically, nothing ever happened. We could be in like that little matrix tube, basically. The being is used, the seeing is using us for juice to make its movie. And you're the star. It's wonderful. No one fucking else will watch the DVD. You're the only ardent admirer of the story of you. If you had stuff going through your head and it was like a little ticker tape underneath, this is Stanley's, you'd fucking turn it off in a minute. Yet you've been listening to shit about you for 50 years. What is it? Is it that interesting? No, it's about you. That's the interest. The you that you're not. See it, man. I was at a bookstore in San Francisco. Well, actually, San Rafael. Big New Age bookstore. I do a talk there. Now I don't anymore. But in the front, they have all these books, and they had a book, a 900-page book on consciousness. And I go, Jesus Christ, 900 pages on consciousness, and you're conscious. Would you rather read a book about being what you are, or be what you are? It would be a real big fall off, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm going to study consciousness. You fucking are conscious. How much more studying do you need? Like 24/7? I sort of agree with his description. It took 900 pages. It's sort of like the idea of gravity. No one's bitched about gravity today, have they, in Peterborough? The food forest, nobody. You usually blame something that has nothing to do with it, like the hill's high, the stairs are steep. It has nothing to do with the stairs, it's gravity. Yeah, this incredible force that's on the body all the time, so much so you don't even know it. And then they have people who become experts on gravity. They go on tours talking about gravity, circuit speakers. They've written tons of books on gravity. All you need to know everything you need to know about gravity is go into an anti-gravity chamber. Then you'll know immediately gravity by its absence. Yes? You'll know the problem by its absence. And by its absence, it's not true. Mm-hmm. You have to be complicit with it. That's the ignorance. We must be ignoring something to take what's being shoveled in this whole place to be so. We have to be ignoring our own nature, and how we do is the mental process, right, offers us an idea that we're a long-lasting, independent, separate thing. And then it thinks about it incessantly. To reinforce what? All the obsessions are there happening to reinforce the identification. Because this bonding can never be so, but it can seem to be so. And the thoughts are like a glue. It uses the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions through the my. So a thought becomes a glue applicator, and the glue is my. Yeah. The feelings, because there's tons of them, are a glue applicator, but the glue is the my. And so this is constantly applying a my to all the faculties. And so everything is being used to infer that you're the doer of it, the haver of it, the begetter of it. Everything is being used to point to the imaginary phantom. And after a while, we take it to be so. We don't even question anymore. The assuming, the inference, the assumption, the presupposing has seemingly worked. We take ourselves to be a body. For me, it's hallelujah. It's incredible good news. It saved me a lot of fucking tickets to India and stuff. Really. I'd probably have terrible knees if I would have kept meditating as much as I was. That's gone. Yeah. It's been really what I'd like to share with people. If you like this message, all I ask of you is send me 1/4 of your spiritual budget for next year. I'm going to save you tons of fucking money. Why not tithe 1/4 of it? And I could probably retire with what I would get from this room. I never have to do another talk, though I have never done a talk, thank God. That's the good news. Or I wouldn't have shown up if I had to do this one. Can you imagine? Just this section, I would be good for 10 years. Do you have to really prove something to yourself? You are that which you're looking for. You don't have to prove it to you or anyone else. You are it. Then life is more of an expression, you know? And then whatever you do isn't to put something in, but to tease something out. Yeah? To express your being instead of trying to infuse yourself with something. Express it. It's being teased out. All those passions we have tease out what we really are. That joy of being present is awesome, man. It's not culminating, it's not reaching a crescendo. Always available at all times. It's not speeding up so you miss the door or slowing up. It's just always there as you. And every day with the Etch-a-Sketch of life, you go to sleep, it all gets erased, shook up, and then you wake up and there's the Paul Hedderman show offered, and it's sort of syndicated. Put on the Paul Hedderman show and do Paul Hedderman. It's not hard. And now being Paul Hedderman would really suck, but doing it is easy, really. Because doing it, you're not putting that up. There's so much stress on you as a body as being the center of the universe. Do you know that? You know how powerful the mind is? Even in the downgrade of the mental condition, to have, let's say today, all that dispersed sun, everyone thrived in it. If that got focused, you'd be incinerated. This is sort of what's happening to all of us. This has become the center of the universe. The thought system is constantly on you all day, critiquing you, going over you, planning things for you. It's fucking way too much. It's like putting 5 10s in a half-ton pickup. It cannot carry the weight. The best beneficiary of this message is the body. I swear to God. Because when the urban renewal project stops, because you are going to work on yourself. As long as you think you're this, you're going to work on yourself fucking forever. And critique it and think you don't measure up. All of that fucking mental minutia. If you're not the center of the universe, this is the greatest beneficiary. It can fart and chill out and fucking, not have the shirt buttoned up completely, not have to be the most beautiful looking person and healthy and thrive and try to keep catching up with tons of plastic surgery and filler and Botox. You can just let it be a car. It's pretty good. It got me here. But it's not like a car show. Oh, my Toyota, on a little revolving thing. My Toyota. No. I don't know how more to express it, really. There's just there's a whole difference between knowing and and being. It's a whole different ball game. Being is it's like intramural, not a pro game, It's just you play, you hit, you pitch, Everyone wins in a lot of ways. And it's very inclusive, and everyone does win. It's a beautiful way of looking at things, but I couldn't contrive it because it's not something that can be produced. It's something that is. So what can never really be produced is seen to be, you see through it. And then this, instead of this being a shade, yeah, the beingness shines through it instead of this opaqueness where it seems to have the role of blocking it out. Now it's sort of more translucent, and that which we are can come through. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's it. It's also a message. You don't have to beat a dead horse. And more isn't better. Actually, a lot of times less is better in this topic. Because we value time. We think time makes something valuable. It doesn't in this message. This is about timelessness. It doesn't take any time to produce what already is. So, I think that's it. We'll just have a lot of kirtan now. Yeah? Yeah. Yes?
I got a question.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So, I think I heard you say, when you're present, you're at service.
Well, you are present.
So you're at service all the time.
It's a possibility. If you're not aware of being present, you may not be. The presence doesn't ensure that you're always going to be available. Because in my view, everyone is inherently awake. But here, in this little adventure, you can seem to be awake to that fact, or you can seem to be asleep to that fact. That being asleep to it does not change the fact that you're inherently awake. And being awake to it, seemingly awake to it, doesn't have to change the fact, yeah? So if someone is awake, they're immediately available and present, and to me, being present and available is of service. Seriously, that's how I've seen it. But if you're up your ass of self, then you need to do service to get out of self. It's like your divine proctologist. You got to be pulled out of there, and you may have to be pulled out quite a lot. But if there's the sense, if that sense of self weakens, you'll see that you're that which you're looking for, which means every time you're looking, that's what you're looking for. That makes you pretty fucking present in your own life. And for me, that means you're available. And when you're available, you're of service. Because you're going to be led here, either by spirit or by the mental state. You're going to be led. The thought system is either going to lead you, or let's say the Holy Spirit or the higher power or spirit, whatever you want to call it, yeah, is going to lead you. One of them is going to lead you. One, well, they're not of them, but something's going to lead you here. And you can feel the flavor. The mental state leads you in a pursuit of trying to get something to replace what you are. It tries to get the symbols it's made up that will imply that you are that which you can only be, yeah? That you have that which you can only be, that you do that which you can only be, and it keeps you on this freaking, it's like slavery to me, yeah? And it just keeps giving you new formulations. It's like a failed GPS. Its maps are from like 1850. So you punch in, oh, I'd like to be happy, joyous, and free. And then you're in jail that night, and you're wondering, what the fuck? I just wanted to have some fun, and now I'm in jail. So you go home, but you don't break the subscription. All right, happy, joyous, free. Okay, 2 days later you're in jail, and you wonder, well, how did that happen? Well, you did the same fucking thing you did that got you in jail 2 nights ago. So the GPS has failed. It's a failed system. Yeah? And that's really the inherent anxiety. If you are a thought, you're agitated. You're agitated. You're in a constant crucible of wanting to become what you're not and wanting to unbecome what you think you are. It's all agitated. It's like Buddhism. It says desire is the root of it all. Well, to me, the root of desire is the desire to become and unbecome. And that's what the selfing is. Watch it. Underneath there, it is, yes? And the mental state is a desiring to become what it thinks it isn't. It wants something it doesn't have. And then it's also trying to unbecome what it thinks it is, which it never was anyway. So it's like a slinky that it's a slinky that produces an infinite amount of stairs. To me, it's slavery. If you're flipping out now based on last week, you're enslaved right now. You're not responding to this moment. You're reacting to a past moment. That cannot be other than slavery, to me. And if this moment you withhold yourself from for a future better moment, you're in the other side of the coin of slavery. Yeah. Basically, you're living a mental interpretation based in time. Yesterday's more important than now, and tomorrow's more important than now. If your little kidness came up and saw you as an adult, and they saw you crazy, and they couldn't see it, feel it, taste it, touch it, their clear recognition with that's not happening. They think you're fucking crazy, putting off playing for some fucking crazy idea and all this. They look like we're insane. If you go to work at, let's say, 8 in the morning, and then you get home at 6, and then you have dinner, and you watch, let's say, Stranger Things or something on Netflix. So now it's 8 o'clock. And then 8 o'clock you get a CNN news flash up in Mental Central, right? You had a bad day. What? Wouldn't you know you'd have a bad day when you were having the bad day? Why does it take 12 hours to collate the information to come up with the supposition you had a bad day today, Paul? At 9 at night? That infers something, doesn't it? It infers that we're fucking spaced out of our own lives. Some people, years. Their resentment, oh, fuck, they've been taking advantage of for 20, hey, bro, you're a little slow on the draw. 20 years, something must have been I mean, if you're conscious, wouldn't you be conscious of conditions when they were conditions? This is the universe affirming the message. Favorite is right. Any more questions? No, I don't think so. Hey, well, thank you very much for having me in lovely Peterborough. I always love coming up here. And you guys want to have some more music? Yes, we got lots of talent up here, and I want to really thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.